Hello everyone. I'm standing at a very iconic landmark in Australia in Sydney, the Harbour Bridge. This bridge signifies a passion. I have to connect the knowledge from the experts across the globe in the energy markets. And it is with that passion and joy I made a choice after 32 years and started something which I'm very inspired about, XAnalysts. My aspiration is to really 10x the competency, the skills, the knowledge of all analysts across commodities, across energy around the world. The philosophy of XAnalyst is about a bow and arrow, as you can see in our logo. I have been enough of an arrow for 32 years, trying to go higher and higher. Now, chosen to become a bow. So it is with that bow and arrow philosophy, I want to convert the potential energy of experience of not just me, but all the experts across the globe into the kinetic energy for the analysts so that they can go higher in understanding both green energy, the brown and the fossil energy. But this journey is not going to be only about hard facts. This journey is not going to be about technical details. I want to blend and mix a lot of creativity, a lot of fun and joy in this analysis as well. And for that, Sydney is not short of another iconic building, the Opera House. It's a symbol of creativity. It's a symbol of thinking differently. It's a symbol of out-of-the-box thinking. That's something the world of market analysis also needs as we are going through energy transition with so much of divergence coming into the market. It's the analysts who will bring the convergence by becoming better, by improving the quality of the work, by learning skills, competencies at a very granular level. So it is with this passion to bring the best of the hard technical data which the bridge symbolizes, and also to bring the creativity of the iconic opera. I want to announce and share that launching Exploring the Energy Markets podcast series, where I'll bring the best experts in energy markets to talk about and share their experience, knowledge, competencies. So let's go and explore the energy markets.
So what I do is mostly economic and political risk relevant to energy markets, both oil and gas. And I help both short-term and longer-term investors and corporations think about those risks. It's really important to build and sort of build models and then continually test them, not assume that historical relationships always hold, but to build fundamental balances, to assess what policy choices might change those, and to see and to have that structure around it. Biggest thing is don't forget that you have critical thinking skills. Analysts at all levels. So, and build those up. Read widely about sort of historical and other dynamics. Play with the data. Maybe have AI help you compile it and correlate it, but question it at every turn. Don't turn off your brain assuming that AI knows more than you, because often it doesn't. So think about and analyze and ask those questions, and find mentors who can share their experience in the dynamic, and find sources that that you respect. Come back to them, question them, don't believe everything you read. And sort of think about how it all comes together.
Primarily, it's about facts. It's about making sure that you're telling the story that actually exists, rather than putting in your own kind of twist or feel of your own thought. Time that suited me because I mean you're at the start of your journey. You're learning along the way, right? But I think, given I've been doing this for over 10, 15 years, over time you build expertise. It just happens over time. You, through obviously learning, active learning, but also just speaking to your network, speaking to people, going to conferences, having conversations like we're having now. You build information, build knowledge over this period of time. And with that knowledge comes confidence in your subject matter. People start referring to you as a subject matter expert. And then you start to believe it, in fact,
Okay, yeah.
So over time, as that confidence builds in you, that's when you can sort of choose to take that step and say, you know what, I have views, I want to back my views, I want to share my views, I want to discuss my views with other people and have these conversations that frankly have become the most interesting part of my everyday job. Having people around me that I could have access to, who I felt were mentor characters in my life, that was very important, because there are moments in people's lives where you look around you and you think, I'm doing fine, but I don't see anyone obvious around me that I can learn from. So having that mentoring character around you is critical. So be that early, but over time, you're able to filter out what I think we both call noise. And that's critical in this industry because there's a lot of noise a lot of the time. I would say do not buy into the first point of view that you hear, and don't necessarily fall into the trap of taking on board the loudest voice, because sometimes the loudest voice isn't the right voice.
That's a very good point.
1 week is a long time. For oil markets, it's a lifetime.
Crux and sum it up, Nader, what I felt from this conversation is, one, don't fall in love with others' analysis, question them.
Absolutely.
And another point you made was, don't fall in love with your own analysis as well.
Should be apart from or in addition to whatever they are learning as chemical engineers, as people who are working in refineries or in marketing or in supply chain, R&D, anywhere they are working, they should have the that perspective of broader oil market, because ultimately we are industry side. I can say that I have to have a team to work for me and work along with me to give a better, more rounded analytical view on things. I can't go with a single person. So maybe he's an Einstein, maybe he's an intelligent person, but I'll believe more in the team than need good tools. Maybe AI tools, maybe some machine learning tools, maybe some programming tools, whatever you want. Those digitalized tools are required, because today data is immense. Yeah. Huge data is there on the platter. It is practically impossible for a human being to analyze them, to put them into usage, and then to make sense out of it. So that is one. The second part is, which is diametrically opposite to it, that tools are not going to give you that analytical mind. So both the things are there. But tools have to be there. They have to give you some input. They have to give them some. I'll say it has been, this whole market is driven by the analyst. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you take it as a compliment or not.
Yeah.
But it is driven by analysts.
Yeah.
That dilemma. That how to train people, how to expose the people, how to bring people into the fold, so that I can get that extra edge. In my kind of a structure where we are in the process of making a joint venture company with one of the big international traders, wherein we will be setting up our trading arm, Indian oil trading arm, which will be in a joint venture with one of the biggest traders, and we will be setting up, we will allowing our people to sit in one of the hubs, most probably in Singapore.
In the broader spectrum of the oil refining sector, what do you think India should adapt in order to become a more sustainable and globally competitive market?
I think the key word is competitive. We have to be competitive first, then we'll be sustainable. I've lived across and seen many companies. One big thing I would say, India has the leverage of scale. We are a big refiner in the world. We have a big domestic demand. And we are also becoming quite a good exporter. So India needs to leverage, I would say, the scale and the size and build more robust trading commodity market networks around its asset.
Or the major feedstock for the petchem industry. But with the shale gas and shale oil boom that happened in states about 2 decades ago, we start to see many of the gas-related or the NGL molecules becoming feedstock for the petchem industries. A margin pressure due to the oversupply situation that we have in the global market. India is actually sitting at a very, very, I would say, sweet spot.
When somebody says crude to chemicals, what does it really mean?
Crude to chemical, that means increasing the yield of chemical products from that crude feedstock.
From the energy technology meet, on what have you heard on this crude to chemicals drive?
What we have heard in the Itayim now is a kind of second phase of crude to chemical. India needs to build more petchem capacity. I think that secure advantage feedstock wherever we can, not just go for commodity. Get into specialty grades. And when I say
Petchem is certainly a growth side. What would you say to a growing engineer in a refinery or an analyst in a refinery to one day become a very solid petrochemical expert like you?
Only two things.
Okay.
Yeah. The first is, doesn't matter where you are, wherever you are in a refinery or petchem, continue to learn and do well in that area. The second thing would be, when you are working in any area in a refinery or petchem, don't just look at your area. While you need to be excellent, you need to do well in that area, but also have a broader overview of what's happening in and around your unit.
Point, we should think of Vishv Vyapari Bharat. We know India was once a golden, giant in trading. So I believe we can achieve those goals by first building strength. Welcome David as well from General Index, because we want to talk both the fundamentals sort of analysis plus the pricing analysis. They go hand in hand. The challenges in my view, and I will not be able to go into all those challenges. These are some stimulating thoughts from, I would say, long years of experience. We are blessed with data. We are blessed with tools. Now we have higher opportunity to have the analysis fun. And these are some of the challenges which I, with XAnalysts, aim to really build an innovative, what I call IACE, the energy market analysis system, a unique combination of insights, advisory, competency building, and education.
Examples here, one reflective and one more forward-looking. So General Index is a price data provider and a benchmark administrator. I've now into the first of the case studies. One of the key threads in refined products markets over the last couple of years has been quite a fundamental shift, rebalancing in trade flows around benchmark perspective. One of the most important and long-standing price benchmarks globally is a diesel benchmark. So historically, this benchmark evolved around 30 ports. In the time, these benchmark parameters had evolved very closely with the growing Russian export market. And so two perennial challenges really for pricing and for price benchmarking. Liquidity declined on a SIF basis in terms of the transparent price discovery space, and you've seen an emergence of liquidity instead intra-regionally on a FOB.
The oil market analysis or energy markets analysis, in my view, is like analyzing a moving target. And the whole idea of bringing GX and David's analysis into this call was that while we are trying to make a call on the diesel cracks or diesel prices, the diesel benchmarks or pricing itself is undergoing quite a lot of change because some structural shifts happening in the market. And my definition of original thinking is that the idea, the thought has to be born in your head first.
Empowering analysts, transforming markets.